of our democracy when the people have had their say and the United States Supreme Court stepped forward and said no?
So just, and you touched on it in your question, but just to reiterate the point, what was different about what Virginia was doing from some of the other states that we've seen on the Republican side of the aisle who have done redistricting is we could not take action without the vote of the people, a referendum, so similar to what California had to go through. Only ours is a multi-step process. The last process being a ballot referendum, which we did in April, which is an unusual time frame for a ballot referendum, but yet we still had extraordinary voter turnout. Of course, the people voted yes in that referendum. More than 3 million Virginians voted. And I say that because my disappointment with the Supreme Court of Virginia falls principally on the fact that we executed this election, which is a multi-tier process, goes through the General Assembly, goes through the General Assembly again, goes before the people. And millions of Virginians in favor or opposed cast their ballot, demonstrating their view, our shared view, that that election is legitimate. And the Supreme Court of Virginia determined that indeed it wasn't legitimate and nullified the results of that election. And so I find it extraordinarily frustrating, but my response to it has to be that now we have to prove the point by winning. You know, notably, we have 11 congressional districts. Of the, we have 6 that are currently held by Democrats, 5 that are currently held by Republicans. Of those remaining 5 that are held by Republicans, I won 2 of them on the ballot in November when I ran for governor. And just, you know, on the details of the politics, in a statewide race, you're not necessarily trying to win the contours of a congressional district. So 2 of those races are imminently winnable. And then arguably, when I won my first congressional race, my predecessor had won in 2016 by 15 points. I won in 2018 by 2 points. That's a 17-point swing. By those numbers, and with a president who is even more unpopular than he was in the last time we faced a midterm for him, we can win 3 to 4 seats in Virginia. And so while I have lots of feelings about the results of the Supreme Court decision, I am channeling all of that towards trying to encourage people to not feel depleted or to channel their worry, their anguish, their disappointment, their anger into volunteering for a candidate, supporting a candidate, and making sure that we win 2 to 4 of those races. On the current lines, it will be rough, but you know, things worth doing are not always easy, and we have to do it.
How concerned